Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the Prime Icon Moments Pavel Nedved. We're going to go through the card as detail, stats, clips and summary as per usual. We're also going to go through a comparison to the Prime Icon player, and we're going to go through the SBC requirements, and then I'm going to give you my final opinion on whether I think this card is worth it and what you guys should be doing in terms of the SBC. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you've done this SBC and what your thoughts are on this card. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So guys, this is the team that I used Pavel Nedved in. I played him in the 4-2-3-1 on that left mid spot, and I did actually try him in that attacking midfield spot. My first impressions of this card, guys, this is a phenomenal card. Like, I couldn't believe how good he was, and I was a bit skeptical at first because I saw that pace. But overall, guys, this is really phenomenal, and it does bring back nostalgia and memories of how well Pavel Nedved used to play. Without further ado though, let's just get into the review. Pavel Nedved, 5'10", high medium work rates, right-footed, 4-star swim moves, and 5-star weak foot. So guys, bear in mind he's a left midfielder cutting in off that left side onto the right foot. Also has that 5-star weak foot. So very capable on both feet. Tall player as well. Very decent as well in terms of work rates too. I actually had one rage quit, guys, and I used the lone player. So unfortunately I cannot complete the final game for you guys. 4 games played, 8 goals scored and no assists. Now guys, the assist number, I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. This guy did end up just in a lot of goal scoring opportunities for me and took a lot of them, and in terms of chances, I didn't take a lot of the chances that I created with him, but he should have a couple or at least a few assists in there too. In terms of the details, guys, I tried the Hawk on him purely because I wanted him to be more physical, more pacey, and a little better at his shooting as well. I figured his passing and dribbling are both phenomenal. It actually doesn't need a boost there for me either. So overall, guys, I think this player really does well in that regard. In terms of the attributes, guys, looking at the key pros of this card, the 93 attack positioning, 97 shot power, 97 long shots, 90 agility, 91 reactions, 93 ball control, 93 dribbling, 92 short pass, 91 long pass. Guys, I could keep going forever about this card. He really is a phenomenal card in all the attacking departments. The only con that I would say of this card that I picked up on was that acceleration and sprint speed, and if you do improve that, then what you do have, guys, is an absolutely phenomenal player. One thing I think is really underrated about this card, and you really should take advantage of this, and I did especially with the Hawk, is that aggression and strength. He is super strong, guys, for a winger, and did really well to hold off a lot of fullbacks. You'll see that in some of the goals as well that he scored, or the chances that he created. He is super strong and capable on the ball, and I really love that about him too. In terms of the traits, he's got a bunch as well: power free kick, early crosser, long shot taker, speed dribbler, playmaker, and outside the fish shot trait. All lovely traits to have as well for a winger, and really, guys, he is the complete winger in terms of how he plays. When you fix that pace element of the card, it really is a fantastic card to use. Now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into the comparison between this card and the Prime Icon card. So guys, we're just going to look at the comparison between the Prime Icon Moments Pavel Ned and the Prime Icons Pavel Nedved as well. Getting into the card, on the face of the card there's a 14 stat upgrade, and in terms of the in-game stats there is an 85 stat upgrade there, so not a bad upgrade actually. I think it's bigger than Patrick Kluivert's upgrade. I can't remember exactly, but it's a pretty decent upgrade, and we'll get straight into it, guys. The pace is a big one to start with. I mean, that's a really big factor for me, and I think this card does really well in terms of the pace department already. I think he does need that boost to be able to compete on the wing. If you move him from the wing into the attacking midfield spot, I really don't think he needs any more pace upgrades. This card is okay in terms of pace for that attacking midfield spot, and you can boost other parts of this card so that he really does become a much bigger threat in that regard. But I think for winger, this pace is better, but still needs a little bit of a boost. In terms of the shooting, finishing is up as well by 3 points, shot power is up dramatically, long shots are up as well, volleys are up dramatically, penalties again stay at the same sort of level, and positioning, so a big upgrade on the shooting as well, guys, and you guys can see that from the face of the card as well, +4 on that movement there as well, so really nice upgrade and all of that stuff too. As we get into the passing, now the Pavel Nedved Prime Icon card is pretty decent at passing, so this Prime Icon Moments card doesn't really have much on him that is that much better. A couple of points here and there on all the stat levels, but overall I think this is pretty good. I haven't tried I have tried the 91, I haven't tried the 89 either though, so this card played really well compared to the 89 in terms of the passing, but I think the 91 also has very good passing too, so overall I wouldn't say too much difference there. In terms of the dribbling, this is a big one for me, guys, and it really does stress a big highlight between these two cards. The 91 did feel a little stuck in the mud because of his size and the way that he moves. This card has 90 agility compared to 82, and that's a massive jump for me, guys, in terms of being able to move with the ball and just being maneuverable in midfield. He has good balance, a nice boost there, good reactions, again, a nice boost there. The ball control hasn't moved much, the dribbling hasn't moved much, but the composure also has risen a fair amount, and that's a lovely thing to have as well. He finished a lot of chances for me, guys. You're going to see that in the clips as well. So really nice boosts in terms of his overall capability there too. In terms of the defending side of things, the only thing I think you guys need to be concerned about is that heading accuracy. That has gone up by 1 point. And in terms of physicality, all the points have only jumped by a couple of points there, so nothing really to talk about in terms of the physicality. For me, guys, though, this card has significantly improved in terms of how it plays and how well he does in terms of that midfield. So I do think that this card has seen a considerable upgrade on that. Now that we've covered all that, we're going to get into some of the SBC requirements for you to get your hands on him. So guys, getting into some of the SBC requirements, 823k on the PlayStation 755 and the Xbox 930 on the PC. The first 3 squads, guys, as per usual, are a bronze squad, silver squad, and a gold squad with an inform 80 rated. The next few squads start to get a little more expensive. Again, this one not too bad, but still quite expensive if you have to grind this out. 84 rated squad with a Team of the Week player, 85 rated squad, an 86 rated squad, and an 87 rated squad. So actually, guys, this one works out cheaper than the Patrick Kluivert one, or very close certainly. I think Patrick Kluivert's is around 825 and this one's 823. So guys, overall, I think this is pretty decent value for this. This is the very expensive one down at the bottom here that you guys will have to deal with. But overall, guys, a good mix of squads, and I think, again, like I stated on the Kluivert review, EA have priced these SBCs very well, and I think that translates to you getting a good bargain for your coin in terms of being able to pick up these Prime Icons moments cards and using them without having to waste too much coin in terms of just getting the card like you would have to if you went and grabbed them off the transfer market. So again, really happy with how they've done these SBCs. Now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Prime Icon moments, Pavel Nedved's moments, and what you guys are going to see here is just his general attacking play, both off that left wing and in that attacking mid spot. Now for the first game, guys, I didn't actually know what the best chemistry style for him was, and I thought that after this first couple of games, his pace really needed to be improved. Overall, guys, he does lack a little bit in that pace department. That's the first thing I'll talk about with you guys, is that he really does need a little bit of help in that pace department. He does, of course, have 88 pace on the face of the card, split between his acceleration and sprint speed. But guys, I think that if you do boost this, then what you do have is a winger who's very capable of taking on those fullbacks, as well as doing the rest of his game too. Now, one thing I really do want to talk about, and you guys will see it in a lot of these clips, is Nedved's huge amount of strength. And that was a real surprise for me, guys, that he was able to hold off so many fullbacks and do so much on the ball, both physically and in terms of just technical ability too. You know, he's able to do all the things that every other winger can do, and then he's also able to play a bit bigger than his size, a bit bigger than his position generally would dictate, and that's a lovely thing to have in a winger as well. Makes him have another dimension compared to the fullbacks that he'll be going up against. Now, of course, when you come up against, say, a Kluivert or a Tavernier, you may struggle a little bit with this card because they do match up very well with him. But I think against all other fullbacks, you do have a good opportunity to really rinse them with this card. Now, guys, if we get into the next part of this card that I want to talk about, which is his dribbling, I thought his dribbling was really good, really nice and tight, able to maneuver in tight spaces and create easy chances. And with that as well, guys, that meant that the opponent was constantly having to drag one, or at least one, most of the time 2 defenders to this card, which meant he freed up a lot of space with him too. And that's really what was great about this card, was you were able to free up so much space by having those 2 players always trying to track down where Nedved was going. The next thing I'll get into, guys, is his passing. Passing is really phenomenal as well in terms of what he's able to do. He puts them on the money. His set pieces are well done as well. His long passing is great. His short passing is fine. Overall, guys, a really well-rounded card in terms of creativity and technical ability in that regard. The last thing we'll get onto, guys, is his shooting. Now, his shooting is okay, guys. No, it's not okay, it's very good. And what I would say is that you do need to boost this though, compared to his passing and dribbling, which I think are actually okay without a boost. I think his shooting does need a little bit of a boost, and what that allows him to do then is just finish with a little more consistency than he does like in the Prime Icon card, or even with the Moments card without a chemistry style. I do think that with the shooting boost as well, I was able to finish a lot more chances with him, so I do think a Hunter or a Hawk would fit him very well. But overall, guys, I would say the finishing is very good. It just could do with a little boost for me. I like my wingers to have a high level of output in terms of goals, so that's why I recommend that for you guys. However, you guys may think an engine would fit better with him. I personally feel like that's a little bit wasted because his dribbling and passing is so good. Getting into these final couple of clips again, guys, you've seen a lot of dribbling there, takes it there on his left foot, beautiful finish there. And then this final one here, another lovely one, dribbles past the defenders, gets a little tackle on him there, but still comes back, gets a chance here and smashes it, chips it, sorry, over the keeper. So guys, if we get into this final Pavel Nedved summary, the first thing we're going to do is look at the price of this card. 1.1 on the PlayStation, 989 on the Xbox, 1.479 million on the PC. If we switch that to SBC costs, you guys can see 821k in terms of the SBC, 754 on the Xbox and 928 on the PC. So guys, that is a big discount. You guys can see there, it's almost 300k. I think we're 10k or so, 20k or so short there of being 300k in terms of a discount. That's a really nice discount, guys. And I hope this does continue to fall as the price of the players is very inflated. We will cover that shortly though, once we get into the price and the end of this review. In terms of the key stats, guys, just look at that passing, shooting and dribbling. All of that is key for you guys to note. I do think that if you were to put a chemistry cell on him, you should focus on the pace of this card. Let's say we were to stick a hunter on him, that's what we would get out of the card. Really boosted pace, really boosted shooting, but I think that's slightly wasted on him. You could look to boost him with an engine, of course, and really, guys, there's another key dependent factor here, which is where you're going to play this card. If you're going to play him out left and use him to finish chances, again, and it also depends on how you play him. If you're going to use him left to finish chances off, then focus on his shooting. If you're going to use him as more of a creative, then I would recommend focusing on his passing and dribbling. If you use the engine, that gets the most out of the boosts to the stats as well. However, guys, there are a number of ways you can go with this. I, of course, tried a hawk on this card, and that's what it did to him in terms of his finishing ability and then his strength as well. And I thought this was actually one of my favorite ones. I did try the engine and I tried the hawk as well, and I think the hawk actually did really well, because what it does is it gives him that strength and aggression boost that really does help him fight against those fullbacks, fight against those centre backs, and do well against those players and create really easy goal scoring opportunities for himself. In terms of the similar players, guys, again, we aren't going to liken these Prime Icon SBCs, Moments SBCs to anyone. I think these cards are standalone in how they play, and of course the play style in which they have. Very similar, of course, to the Prime Icon Nedved. Easy enough answer there. In terms of linkability, he does link to a bunch of nice players. Primarily, of course, the other icons in that database. Petacek is a perfect link, however, I don't know how you're going to link that one in. Of course, links to all these icons here as well. And then you've got weak links to other Czech players too, or these will actually be strong links because he's an icon, so he'll get the strong link to all these players. But nice to have some links in there. Not exactly the ideal nation for linking into. In terms of a price comparison, guys, if we just filter by the left mids, you guys can see he sits above this Heung-min Son, above Mark Overmars, Marcus Rashford, and Ryan Giggs' icon moment as well. Just below Marcus Rashford's UCL Live. I'm going to take that out of the equation, as well as Eden Hazard's live card, because those are obviously inflated due to the fact that they're being held as investments. If we go to this Marcus Rashford third inform card, I think this is a very good card. I think Nedved actually plays to a very good level comparable to that card. Marcus Rashford is a lot more meta though, and does have those 5-star skill moves, as opposed to Nedved, who only has 4-star skill moves but has the 5-star weak foot. I think that if you were to compare him to Heung-min Son, which is a really good direct comparison, I think this card does play to a similar level. Again, this card is up a little bit because he could get an inform at any time, and that would mean that he does get that boost, or I think if Tottenham win another game, he will get that boost as well. So overall, guys, I think this Nedved card still does have a little bit to drop, and will drop a little bit, but he does play to a fantastic level, and I think he is certainly justifying that 1 million price tag, but he will drop a lot. And I think that's, although it is fair for him to be at 1.1 million price tag, I think the drop would be fair as well, given how the cards are going to develop in this game as well, which leads me on to my final recommendation, guys. 1.1 million is still too high, even though it is a fair price, because it is going to drop further. So please don't misunderstand when I say that 1.1 million is fair, go out and buy him. I don't mean that. I mean that wait until this card drops off and you'll be able to get yourself a bargain of a player. But 1.1 million is not a bad level to judge this card at in terms of how he plays. I think he is worth that. If I paid 1.1 million for this card at the fair current market price and played him and got the results I did get out of him, I would be thoroughly impressed with this card, guys. I am really impressed with how this card plays. It does play very, very well. And that leads me to my final recommendation of, guys, wait for this card to drop a little bit. This SBC, of course, will drop in value as those players continue to fall. And I think, guys, especially with how this SBC is priced, you're getting terrific value for coin in this SBC. So I would 100% recommend, if this SBC drops to anywhere around the 650, 700k, 750k mark even, I would say do this SBC, guys. It's 100% worth it. You will not regret doing that SBC. I thoroughly enjoyed using him, and if I didn't have an untradeable Neymar, I definitely would consider doing this SBC because he is a phenomenal left winger. You could use him until the end of the game, and he would still have the same level of output that any other winger would be able to give you. He's certainly different. He doesn't necessarily fit the meta as well as, say, a Neymar or an Mbappe does, but what he does give you is a very usable, very well playing player, and that's something that is really important for me in this game, guys, is also to have fun, but also to get good players that can do the job for you in all of those positions. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.